Yes, now recorded. Okay. If you see, right, if you log in into in your bank account, if you're not doing anything for 5 minutes, so what will happen after sixth minute? If you did click right, so it will display a message like your session is expired, please try to re-log in again back, correct?
Right.
So most of the banking website will display that kind of session handling. But if you see your social networks like Facebook or Gmail and all, you will never see such kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically they don't want to expire, so they don't want to maintain any session for each user. Meaning session is there, but they don't want to maintain the expiry.
Xperi.
Yes, they don't want to log out the users. So because so if someone is accessing your Facebook, that is your problem. So but bank account, right? If someone is accessing your bank account, then you will complain to the bank people, right? So that's what, because of that, so they are taking care, so by providing session expiry and all. So what is session and how it will create, that we will see now. Okay, I will tell you in a brief. So this is user one, okay, and this
Mm-hmm.
is server or application. So user one, first time he logged in into his bank account.
Mm.
So user one means you can say browser. One browser is one user. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
User one logged into bank account and he got a response, successfully logged in. So first time when user is logged in, there is no session, correct? By default, you don't have any session first time. Once you successfully log in, so then server side a session ID will be created for you. A lengthy session ID will be created for you. The session ID you can say S1. So this S1 is available on server side as well. Okay. Now user
Okay.
2 is user 2 is trying to log in first time. So by default there is no session first time, correct? It's a new
Mm-hmm.
different browser or new customer or different user. So what it will do? It will create session S2 and it will return it back. So when you are getting a response back, as part of the response you will get session id 2 also. Session id 2 also. That's what, if you see, right, some of the banking applications, when you are trying to do logout, immediately they will close the browser, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they will close the browser. Say for instance, if you log out, right, then immediately they will close the browser also. So because they will say, for security reasons we are trying to close your browser. Why? Because in your browser you are getting session id back. Did you see this? So this session id will be available in your browser. So there is a two
Okay.
copies. One is at browser side and another one is at server side, correct?
Okay.
So when so whenever you are sending third request, so somewhere you are clicking somewhere transactions, so that time as part of third request, so this S2 will go to the server. So then it will not create new session. Why? Because you have already session, right? Correct?
Mm. Right.
So what it will do? It will process the request and it will give the response back. Say for instance at 5-6 minutes you didn't do any login. After 6 minutes you are trying to send one more request with session ID S2. Correct?
Mm.
Okay. But server side also it is having its own copy, correct? If
Right.
5 minutes, if the S2 is not getting any request, then what it will do? Server side, it will remove the session. Server side. But still user
Okay.
side, user is having the session ID at a browser level, correct?
Okay.
So now what is happening? You are sending the session ID, but server side it is not able to found the that session ID. Then it will say no session ID. Then application you will see the message, your session ID is expired. So now we are sending back with a default page. The session ID is expired. Please try to relog in again back. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way session ID is using, and we are maintaining uniqueness from for each user. This is just theoretically. You understood, right? Something why we need session.
So my understanding at this moment, for
Yeah.
instance, if someone
Mm.
is logging into the application, so
Mhm.
there are two types of the login session is start. One is a UI, which is from the JavaScript
Correct.
to the
Yeah.
client,
Mm-hmm.
and another session is the interaction is goes to the directly database. For instance, if I'm doing interaction with the application, so that immediately goes to the server side as the same session is goes to the UI
Correct.
side.
Always whatever is there in your browser, from second request onwards, it will travel back and forth,
Okay,
back
so
and forth.
okay, so that is like a process that you interacting with the application.
Correct. That is the only unique ID. So that's
Hmm.
what, right? If you log in with your account ID, so you can able to see only your account details. You are not able to see my account details. Correct? Why? Because
Right.
your session ID is different, my session ID is different.
Hmm.
So that is the only uniqueness, right? Why? Because you and me are trying to access only one server and only one database. Correct? We will never exchange the data. Correct?
Hmm.
Because your session ID is different, my session ID is different.
Okay.
So that session ID also we can able to see in the browser. I will show you that one also. Okay, now let me go to our old example. So this is our simple JSP we developed as part of our last discussion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now we login servlet. So as part of our last discussion, we can able to read user fields also, correct? Username and password also we can able to read it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So we are displaying the username password also. Let me run and let me deploy this one. See now username I'm providing ABC and password I'm providing PQR. Okay, username and password. Just click on submit. So did you see that username and password we can able to read it, correct?
Hmm.
So like that we can able to read all the form fields by using request object. So who will create this request object? The container will create the request object first time when you are restarting your server. So we are
You mean
not
when I'm log
creating. Sorry?
okay. When I'm logging into the application, right?
Correct. Whenever you are restarting your server, so that time it will be created this object. So because we
Okay.
are using it, right? Request dot. Someone need to create this object, right? Otherwise you will get
Mm-hmm.
null pointer exception, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So container will create this HTTP request servlet object, and you can able to, so inside this request object all the form fields whatever is available, see this is one form field and this is second form field, all the form fields data is available. So you can able to read it like this, can able to give the parameter name whatever you had given here, and you can able to get the value. Clear, right, this one?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, now we will see how to get the session ID, how the session ID look like.
Get name. Get. Okay.
So this is all. So who will create this request? Container. From the container there is a method called from the request get session. From the get inside the session there is another session is a request HTTP session it will return, and from this object we can able to call there is another method called get ID. So if you call this method you can able to see your own session. Okay, let me run login again back, and I will log in with the different SIDs and I will show you. Okay, now see the console. Now I'm logging with ABC and PQR. Did you see that
Is it
session ID?
the is it the PQR is a valid login
No,
password?
no, it's just we are not validating. If at all, if you
Uh,
want to validate, we have a username and password, correct? Now you connect to database and validate it here. We know how to connect to database, right?
mhm.
So the here you can write core Java only. This is everything is core Java only, correct? So inside the
Hmm.
servlet, core Java only you have to write. Nothing. There is no different logic. So you write a JDBC connection and try to validate this username and password. It's valid or invalid. So based on that, we will display some message like I will display the message also. Response. Right. So like this, I'm displaying a message like a username. See now, let me log in again back. So ABC is a username and PQR is a password and submit it. So what you are getting?
Login successful.
ABC login successful, correct?
Hmm.
ABC logged in successfully, and also you will see here, right? Session ID. Did you see this? So as long as I'm trying to log in from same browser, did you see the session ID same or different?
It's the same.
It's the same because same client. Now again I'm trying to log in. Same AFI. Now what I will do, I will not log in with same browser. I will try to log in with some different browser. Let me log in with IE, and okay, and let me keep it open. Okay, now let me enter some different password, HKR and TKF something, some password, and click on enter. So we are getting HKR username is logged in successfully, correct? Did you see the message?
Hmm.
And did you see the session ID here? For
Yeah.
HKR, what is the session ID is different, correct?
Hmm.
And 0DD something ending. So because this is a different session and different user, and if at all if you want to see the session ID, think we can able to see, and you have I uninstalled the software, so you can open this. I'm trying to open another customer, another user from the Firefox. IE Firefox, as long as you can open a different browser, so that is a different client.
So based on the browser, the ID get changed.
Correct. If it is a new browser,
So for example,
mhm,
let's say for now I just closed my browser and then I re-logged in. So do you think the ID is gonna get the session ID is gonna get changed?
yes, you close the browser, again reopening it, so it will change.
Oh, okay. So every time I'm let's opening on the
Yes,
Firefox and
that's
I'm
what,
closing.
right? Whenever you are trying to log out, wantedly they will close the browser, banking people, just for
Hmm.
security purpose. Why? Because otherwise the session ID will be saved into your browser. Someone can steal the browser session ID and they will try to access your account. So they don't want to miss. They don't want to
Oh,
give that.
really?
Yes,
Does it possible?
yes, it can possible. That is called hacking. It's a different course actually. Even I used to take that course.
So it's just for the okay. So that's why it's all the hacking stuff is comes across.
Correct, correct. So there is it. So software I was installed. Previously I used
So
to, yeah,
yeah, if I close my browser, so that session ID automatically get deleted, right?
yes, that will be deleted.
If the browser is open, so then
If browser is open, the session ID will be there. So that you can able to see here. See here, settings, settings. What the hell is this?
where do you see that particular stuff?
Yeah, developer tools. Yes, so here you can able to see some of the information. So when you log in here, right here, right?
So, for example, whenever I will log into the email, right, we just sign out,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there's already been session ID there, right?
Correct, yes.
With that session ID, anyone can hack that, right?
Yes, they can, others can able to use it. So first time what they will do when they are trying to log in, they will take your session ID and they will append in my browser. Correct? Then the server will treat, yeah, this is a existing user. Server don't have that much artificial intelligence.
Okay. So, what is the ID?
So we have to use some other tools actually. Previously Firefox, there is a tool, Firebugger, there is a tool I had to install it. Okay, let me
Fireball?
add. Yes, Firebug for Firefox. There are some previously there was some softwares I have already installed in my machine, but as part of my format I uninstalled everything I need to install. So now I installed one software in my machine and you will see this icon. So if you click this one, okay, we can able to see all the request and response. Yes, logged in successfully. Did you see this?
Hmm.
Hello? I can able to
Yes.
see your session ID, right? I can
Right.
copy it. I have your session ID. What I will do, I will open new browser and as part of the session ID, what I will do, I will copy the session ID and I will keep somewhere in notepad. Okay, within
Okay.
span of 5 minutes, what I will do, I will create a proxy, meaning you are sending one request from your browser and I am sending one more request from different browser, correct? So server
Okay.
is one and another proxy user logged in. This is proxy user. So he is also having a valid session ID. So he will send the request. What server will do? Server don't know anything. It will give response back. correct?
Even the multiple user.
Yes. So that's what hacking will happen. As long as I can able to steal your session ID, I can able to log in. Server don't know anything. Session ID is the only unique. So that's what, as long as when you are trying to log out, so immediately they will try to I mean uh, close your browser. So if you
The
close your browser, then nobody can able to access your session ID, correct?
So in that case, how do you access it? It just browse it?
Yes, we can able to track your request. So this direct ways, correct? We need to
Okay.
track all your request, whatever you are setting, everything we need to track it. So that is the way we can able to get more information.
It's like you are opening a new page and then you just copy pasting that session and that will
Correct.
access through,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes. Correct. Exactly.
I'm opening a browser. Okay.
See here, I can able to see your password also. Correct. Did you see this? In general, password should not display anywhere. Correct. But still, I can able to read your password. Correct.
Right.
I can
Okay.
able to
So
see the
you
response also. Everything.
go pretty much is going to the network all and then okay.
I'm reading everything. Your
Because
information.
this is the things that is need to know because sometimes we left our computer is open, we do so much stuff and all this.
So in that way, we can able to. I can read. Right. See password. I can see password. Even though application is displaying dot dot. See here, I am
Mhm.
typing something else, some junk number, so I can able to see the password very clearly. See here,
Even if you log into the Facebook and stuff, it still is gonna record
everywhere,
this out.
everywhere,
Huh?
everywhere.
Wow.
Yes, we can. So, but Facebook and all, they will use some encrypted HTTPS. You see, right? Facebook, what is there here? HTTPS, right?
Uh-huh.
If you enter something, some password when you are clicking login, right?
Mhm.
So what they will do, so they logged in with HTTPS framework, correct? Did you see this lot of
Okay.
information you can able to see it. Take one request
Right.
and cookie, parameters, security, cookies. See here, lot of information is there. So these are the
Okay.
keys.
So they are blocking those even though you're putting the
Yes.
password and stuff.
Yes,
But other one
you are giving the password, that password will be encrypted like this. You are not able to understand that data.
I see. So, well, okay, then it
So
makes sense
that is the
because I was
purpose of HTTPS. But here there is no HTTPS, only
because
HTTP. Did you see this my local? What is the my local? HTTP dot colon slash, correct?
right. Okay, I
Meaning
see.
ours is not secure. So we need to add some of the certifications. See this?
Hmm.
So who developed the certification? This Facebook people. So if you see here, right, I can show you that one. Gmail.com. Immediately you will get secure. So who developed these certifications? Is this source? So this is the secure and site settings. Where is cookie, microphone? So so here basically we can able to see there is a certificate, but here it's not open. Site setting, no notification, notes, key. Oh, no, it's not opening. See here, as long as you will see HTTPS, okay, meaning it's a
Mhm.
secure website. So whatever data you are filling and you are sending, so that data will be encrypted and nobody can able to understand that one except server. You can able to
Okay.
read the data, but you are not able to understand it. Only server will read it and it will decrypt it. So that is the secure. Did you see here secure is there, but for my application there is no such kind of secure. So because of that users can able to block that, but still hackers can read that encrypted data, they will decrypt it. So they have such kind of intelligence.
Oh,
Yes, hackers can read the data and they will decrypt it. So they can read this data and they can decrypt it. Whenever you log in into Facebook, see here, all this thing is meaningless data. Correct? Did you see this?
because it's binary code.
Yes, you are not able to read, but they are using some algorithm. But still, hackers can take the data and they can decrypt it. They can misuse the stuff. So that
Yes,
is the
it's the
hacker's job.
algorithm. Yeah, it's a certain way that algorithm is being used so that someone can read it. Right.
Yes, correct.
Oh, yes. That's another things to learn.
Yeah, that's a
Algorithm.
story, yes. And if you see my, is that, I don't know, it's very rare. Some people were asking that course that is called OWASP
Have you, just a quick question, have you ever heard R language?
or
Yeah.
I heard, yes.
Okay. Jonas, I heard that there's some statistics behind of it, the R language or something.
So here we have a concept called OWASP. So here we can able to see all this kind of hacking stuff.
Mm,
Okay, so this is a different actually. So we have there is so many ways we can able to hack users. Almost some 10 to 15. That is called vulnerabilities.
mm.
Okay, that is the different one. So in this way, every user is creating unique session ID. Did you see this?
Right. Mhm.
So in this way, the session ID will be created for every user. And now, how to set the span of the session? So how many minutes user can be ideal? So that one, did you see that inside the session there is a field called set max inactive interval? Here you need to give the milliseconds. It will take, sorry, minutes. Now 1 minute, so this session ID will be available. After 1 minute, user is trying to click same login, then it will say it will create new session ID. Then you
Okay.
can say this is the way you can give the time interval. Say for instance, at any point of time, if you don't want to log out, then you give negative number. Then it will never log out. The Facebook, all social networks people will give the session ID as session expiry time as a -1. Some minus number, fine.
Mm.
It will never log out. All banking people they will give like a 3 minutes, 2 minutes. They will not give maximum some 2 minutes they will give. 2 minutes if you are not doing anything and it will log out. So this is the way you can able to control your session by using by the request dot get session, and here you will get unique ID, and here you can able to set your timeout.
Mm.
This is clear, right?
Yeah.
And now so another topic. So whenever user is trying to access the server. Before accessing the server, I want to add one filter kind of thing. One more check. I want to keep one gatekeeper. The gatekeeper should validate if it is thinking fine, then only I want to send the request to reach our login servlet. Otherwise, I don't want to send, I want to send it back. Correct. So if you see the big house people, right? So they have a gatekeeper, correct? So what gatekeeper will do? If anyone is coming, they will ask who are you, why you are coming, to whom you want to meet, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If he is giving proper answer, then he will open the gate. Otherwise, he will send him back, correct?
Right.
So in the same way, in this in our web application also, we can able to write a filters. So it will validate all the request. One it will validate before reaching our login servlet. It will validate one kind of pre-check. It will do it. If you can able to add all kind of validation whatever you want inside this keeper. Okay, then you can validate. If everything is fine, then you can allow the request. If you feel something went wrong, then you can send it back. So how to add these kind of filters? So that we will see now. Okay, let me open it. So now I'm going to create one more dynamic web project, filter demo. So this is very easy. So if you understand the servlet, then it is not that much difficult. This is very easy. So before reaching our login servlet, what I want to do, I want to validate some of the stuff in my filter. Okay, now this is our previous page. So what I will do, I will copy our previous servlet, login servlet, and login page as well. Let me copy these two files. Okay, now our file is done. Our file is ready. So far we have a login servlet and login page. Along with that, now what I want to do, I want to create one filter. Okay, now let me create another filter. So how to create a filter? So inside src, just right click and go to others and just type filter. So this is not a servlet, so this is a filter, and like a class, servlet, filter, interface, abstract, it's like that. It's a different one like filter. And select and write the package com dot test dot filter. And what is your filter name? So this is login filter. So before reaching every request to the login servlet, I want to validate it. If everything is fine, I want to allow them to reach the login servlet, else I want to send it back, so that we can provide one kind of security. Okay, whenever we are creating this servlet, so sorry, this filter inside the web.xml, if you observe very closely, so it will add one entry. So you remove this, all those things. Did you see this filter? Filter name and filter class, same like a servlet name and servlet class. So one filter is registered in your web.xml by default, and this particular filter will be guard for which servlet. So this is the login filter, and this login filter should be guard. If you see here, right, so this guard is for which servlet? Login servlet. So we need to give that URL. What is your login? So this is your login pattern. So if someone is trying to access login servlet, first it should reach login filter. After that only it should went to login servlet. It's clear, right, this one? So
Mm-hmm.
you are not able to reach directly to login servlet. First request should reach login filter. After that only it should went to login servlet. Okay, inside the login filter, what I want to add one sysout, just to make sure whether request is coming to our servlet or not. So inside if you see your login filter, right? So you have a constructor, we have a destroy method, and we have a init method. So the life cycle of this login filter, who will create the object? Container will create the object, and constructor will be executed when the object is initialized. Okay. After that, init method will be executed. After that, it will be executed do filter. Whenever you are doing server stop, so that time the destroy method will be executed. So this is the life cycle of a filter. Constructor and init method do filter for every request, and whenever you are making shutdown your server, so this object will be removed from the container. So that time this destroy method will be called. In our case, so let me add login filter validation here. Okay, so here I'm not doing any validation, but just I'm adding one statement. So before reaching the servlet, login servlet, it should validate all the input fields here. So that is what my meaning. Now let me deploy this one. Remove it. Yes, application is deployed and we can able to see the login page. Now let me open new browser. So let me clear all the console. So now, what the hell is this? Okay, so now I'm entering username ABC and password is some PQ or something, and enter the. Okay, ABC is logged in successfully, and if you observe closely, the first one what statement you are seeing here, login filter validation. Correct? Did you
Yep.
see this?
Mhm.
So meaning first login filter is validating. After that only your login servlet is data is printing. Correct? If you feel something went wrong, so here you can able to block the request. So if you feel something went wrong, you should not call this one. If you don't call this one, then your login servlet will not be called, so that you can able to block the so that you can able to hijack the request. Correct?
Mm.
So you validate the data, you have a request, you can able to read all the data and you can validate it. And if you feel something went wrong, then don't call this method. Add one if block and stop sending the request to further.
Okay.
So this is the way we are going to use filters. So this is the way we can able to validate your.
Okay.
Basically they will do the session validation here. So first every time they will verify session is a valid or invalid. So that is one of the examples, session filter you can say. So they will verify the session here. If everything is fine, they will allow user to log in, otherwise they will send back invalid session ID, something like that.
Mhm.
So that is the advantage of filter. Filter is clear, right? So
Mhm.
it is a kind of one kind of validation, server side validation. So not UI side validation, server side validation. So before reaching our resources, login servlet is costly, right? So they will connect to database, so sensitive, correct? So we should not allow the request directly to reach login servlet. So before reaching to login servlet, just do one kind of validation, one kind of pre-check, correct? So
Mm.
that's what see first login filter is calling. After that, it is printing all the data from the login servlet. Clear, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now I will tell you another example. See some of the website, right? If you see, they will display account. 100 people are online, 200 people are online. Did you see that kind of number anywhere?
Mm,
Naukri, the
not
job portal.
really.
I don't know whether you are using or not. Did you know this website?
Okay. No,
Or
this website.
oh, you don't know
This,
maybe. And what else?
this is for the job
Yes,
searching.
this is job portal actually. If you update your resume here, and all the company people will call you.
Is it like a dice monster?
Monster, yes, Monster also same thing.
Okay. But this is like more about famous in India or just worldwide?
It's a worldwide, I think. Yeah. See, if you Monster, right? So they will display somewhere here number. 2,000 people are online, and there is
Wow.
freelancer. You know freelancer?
Yeah. I was actually trying to do a freelance business as well.
Yeah, yeah. So freelancer, if you log in, right? So they will display
Mm.
here this many people are online. Some count they will display how many people are online, correct? How many people are currently logged in into their application. So how they will get that data? So for that we have to use some listener. So that we will see the next topic is listener. So that is also similar, that is also very easy topic. Okay, let me create a different web application.
Mm.
Finish it. Okay, now I will copy the files. Simple login servlet I will copy, and that is our listener demo. I will copy, and I will copy the login page, default pages. It's very easy, right? This web application. It's interesting, very interesting. I like this concepts very well. Compared to compared to that Spring Hibernate, I like this web development very well. Okay, now so here how to create a listener. What kind of listener you want to create? So there is
Honestly, listener, what is it?
sorry.
What is list? What
Yeah,
is the listener?
I will tell you. So listener is one example is I want to know if some new user is logged in, one new session ID will be created, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is one kind of listener, correct? If one new user is logged in, one new session ID will be created. So how you know how many sessions are creating? How you will find out how many sessions are creating? So for that we have to use a listener. So now I will let me create the listener, then you will get some idea. So right click new other and just type listener and you will get a listener. Select it and give the package comp dot test dot listener, and you can say here session listener. So I want to know how many sessions are creating or how many new users are trying to log in. So this is package and this is our class name. And next, so what kind of session, what kind of listener you want to create? I want to create I want to create session related. Did you see this? So you can select life cycle of HTTP session listener. I want only HTTP session listener, and you can select all other stuff. You can select all the HTTP session events and finish it. So now a session listener will be created for you. Did you see this? So inside this a default methods will be created. So you need to concentrate on mainly this one, session created.
Okay.
If one new session is created, so this method will be called. Okay. So what you will do, you just make a count integer sessions equal to by default sessions is 0. So whenever this method is calling, just you can increment the number, meaning so whenever new user is trying to log in, so this method will be called, and indirectly we can increment the number so that you can able to maintain this. So this is a global variable, right? So for
Right.
every user this method will be called, and this number will be incrementing so that you can able to maintain always a live counter, mean new how many people are trying to log in into our application. So that can be, I will print it here. I will what I will do, I will open some three browsers and I should see here three count, correct?
Okay.
So the three people are login means three sessions should be created, right?
Right. Dot.
Just I will display the count. And similarly, say for instance one user is logged out. So that time what will happen? Session will be removed, correct? So in that case it will be called session destroyed. So that time what I will do? I will decrease the number count, correct? This is correct.
Mm-hmm.
One user is session is destroyed or logged out, then I will display the live count. So here it will display 10 and here it will display 9. It's correct, right?
Because someone is logged out.
Yes. Always I want to maintain a live count. So now let me deploy it. Deploy, deploy. Yes. Did you see this? What is the session?
Yeah, I see. I see that.
One user is logged in, correct?
Right.
Now I will copy this URL and I will try to log in from different browser, different client. See this one, different client, right?
Right.
And let me check the count whether it's incremented or not. Did you see this? Session count
Mm.
is, latest session count
Two.
is 2. Now let me log in from IE as well. So different client. And let me enter some dumb password and dumb thing. Yes. So never. Okay. Now let me check the count. Did you see that the session is 3,
Created.
but one session got expired. Because of that what happened? The count became 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because the lifespan of login servlet, what is the session lifespan I had given here?
2 seconds.
Yes, 2 minutes. So if you are 2 minutes
Okay.
ideal, and you will see here, if you wait for 2 minutes, you will see one more message here, 1, 0. Session 1 and session 0 you will see here. Just wait for a minute, when session will be destroyed and the count will come down. So we need to give here a session. So we are displaying same number, same name here and here. Did you see that count became from 2 to?
1.
Now still one user is active. So we need to wait for one more minute. Then the count will become 0. You are showing the countdown, right? So first initially one user, or that two users, after that three users, then one user logged out, the total count is 2. Then again one more user logged out, the count became 1. So if you give negative number in your login servlet, so it will never destroy the session. But I don't want to give negative number, so I had given a positive number. So because of that, it is expiring the session. So this is the way we can able to control the live users. Correct?
Hmm.
It's very easy, right?
Yeah. I don't know if that is easy, but yeah.
It's one line, right? Only one line we are writing. So just one global variable, and we are incrementing and we are decrementing. So because of that, we can able to maintain the session count. If some users are logged in, it always it will display live count.
Hmm.
So this is the way we can able to, I mean, do the web application status we are maintaining from the server side.
Right. So that's how it's like whenever the change can come in, user login, how many user log out at this moment, you can
Correct,
clearly
correct.
can see.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I see.
Okay, you can practice it, and if you have any doubts, we will connect it again back. Just you practice all the web applications, servlets, JSP or whatever, and if you have any doubt, you just let me know. We will connect next day itself. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, thanks.